Good day, Doctor and my fellow mates. My name is Crisalda and matrix number is 277604. I'm from Group 5. Our topic of presentation today is Database of Library University Utara Malaysia. So my group members are Amir Hakim, myself, So Suye and Azizul Fikri. Now, I would like to pass to the next presenter to discuss further on our project of Database of Library in University Utara Malaysia.
The first part of this assignment is the background of the company. So in this part, I will tell you a little bit about the background of the chosen company, which is uh, one of the library, which is Sultanah Bahia Library. So this library is located inside University Utara Malaysia, Sintuk Kedah, Malaysia. So this is library, academic library, and that this library was established on 1 July 1984. The history of this library is the beginning of this library was operated in a temporary campus, which is in one campus in Jitra Kedah. But when the construction of the University Utara Malaysia in Sintok was completed, the that library was transformed into that building, which is completed in September 1990. And from time to time, the library was improved their service and in the number of users who can be in this library also increased, and also uh, the the service also increased by time to time. So as you can see in this slide, there's some picture of the first campus or first location of that library, which is in in Jitra, and the picture of the construction of the library building around the 80. So that's a little bit about the history. But nowadays the library is the item at the library was totally around 1 million item are recorded in this library, and also there are 101 staff 111 staff who work at this library, and the capacity is less than 3,000 seats that available to receive and accommodate as many 400 users every year. So now we will move to the main part of this assignment, which is a problem statement of the company. As we know, uh, as a one company, they must have a strong and systematic data to customer and the staff management to organize the data and daily management. So for example, we choose a library. Some of the data that critical to the management is such as a student ID, staff ID, data about the book such as the author of the book, the year of publication, the book law record, and and, and etc. And other than that is the incoming and outgoing data, because this data will in and out 100 per day. Okay, some example of the problem that may occur if we deal with this type of data is, for example, in this library, the staff will face the problem such as a delay in the returning borrowed books. Some book must be damaged and that not keep in a data, loss of book, and also maybe the mistake we will the mistake when updating the latest data and the new data. So that's why is database management is very important, because with this technique, they will help the library to manage this kind of problem, and also the database also will help easily and quickly access critical information, and also provide a safe storage for sensitive data. And last but not least, if the important of the data management is that will help the company or organization to get a clear picture of the report in an organized manner, which is will help them to make the best decision for some problem or some decision for the future, such as forecasting the number of consumer or customer that will attend the library, and also the some others problem that relate to the data management.
Have a good day, doctor. My name is So Sui. My metric number is 285661. We're going to present entity relationship diagram of UEM library, which is ERD diagram. In UEM library system, we will have several entity, which is login entity, staff entity, student entity, book entity, borrow entity, return entity, and the last one is actor entity. When students or staff go to the UEM website, they need to enter their account. So login entity will have a login ID as a primary key, and staff ID and student ID will be the foreign key, and login entity will record their passwords and login role so they can make sure the student enter the student account website and the staff will enter the staff website. I will going to present how students borrow their book by themselves first. So after the student enter their website successful, they want to borrow a book. The book entity will record and keep track of the book, and the book reference number is unique, so could represent an exact book. Because the book title might has a same name, so the book reference number will become the primary key for the book entity. Next is we go to the borrow entity. Borrow reference number will be the primary key because the book or reference number is borrowed will be discovered many times when the book is borrowed by many different students or different time by the book reference number will be the foreign key to the borrow entity. That shows the student borrow which book lah. So after that, will become the next step. It will be the return entity. When student return the book, they will have the return reference number. It's the same as borrow reference entity. It's unique, and the book reference number will be the foreign key. So that staff will know the book is returned on time or overdue. Like how many days overdue and how much will be charged for the overdue by for the student. So just now is a student borrow their book by themselves. If they borrowed by the staff will also enter their account and use their position to help student to borrow a book. The next one is things like book entity, borrow entity, and the return entity. The last one is actor entity is additional to help student to search for the exact book. So the book entity is how to help students to search a book easily, since the same title books have different actor names. Like I would like to borrow a Fundamentals of Database Management system written by Gerations, and the book's ID is quite difficult to know, especially students don't know the book ID recurring patterns. So that the actors' names. After name, we can just type the actor name so we can find the exact book that we want. So this is the ERD diagram for the UEM library. Thank you. Next, I'm going to present how to create a tables in the Microsoft Access. First, we go open the Microsoft Access and then search for the correct sections, and then click for the table buttons. Then you will see the table is forms and opens in the datasheet fields. So in the datasheet field, you will see the table ones. So you can rename the table ones. For example, rename the table 1 to login tables. So when you create a new table, so you will see the add new fields in new fields columns in the data sheets. So you can enter the entity and attributes in the add new field columns. So for example, in the add new fields columns, you can enter the name of the field like login ID. Next step, research will go for the table fields sections and choose for the suitable data type for each field. For example, the login ID, I will choose for the numbers or text. For the for the login ID. That's false for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Azizul Fizri bin Muhammad Azhar. My matric number 282079. I will present how to establish our table relationship data. Firstly, we need to choose the data database tool on the top. Click the relationship and next click add table and then choose the table and click add the table one by one. Lastly, move the table and drag the same key to relate table each other. There are three types of the relationship, which is one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many. This is example of many-to-one in our relationship data. From login table to student table, which is they had a many student ID in a login table that relates to one student ID in student table. This help when these two has been linked through relationship, makes it easier to evaluate. Information also gets more accurate, since any change made to one entity will be reflected in another entity on other table. It also enables very quick data processing. So this is how our relationship data table for UM library. Next, I will discuss about building queries to access specific data, searching for and compiling data from one or more table. Running a query is like asking a detailed questions of your database when you build a query. You are defining a specific search conditions to find exactly the data you want. There are three queries we make, which is the first one is a book author, next is a book borrowed by student, and last one is a borrow access. There are several steps in building the queries. First one, click create, then query design, then click the add table button. After that, double click on which of the table you wish to query. Following that, you select one and double click the data field to enter the query table. Last step is just click run. Don't forget to click set and rename the query title and do the same process to generate other queries. Next, I will show how was our queries work. Let's say we want to see the name of the author who has published a book, and then we want to check when the book was borrowed. We will go to the query book author, then in the field we select book title to find out the available book title. Then we click the author name for the author's name of the book title that will be displayed, and click also the borrow date to find out the date someone borrowed the book. Then click run to show the search results. It will show the decision issues based on the criteria we want. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good day, Doctor and my fellow mates. My name is Griselda and my matrix number is 277604. My topic of presentation today is the Library of Database in Universiti Utara Malaysia. As for my presentation for this part is to generate the importance of generating forms to input the data. One of it is to speed up the use of database. It also provide a pleasant and efficient way to work with database. It also automate the process by directing the data forms to database. Lastly, it's to control and access the data effectively, efficiently, and one of the best way to gain information and data from the database. Now I'll be explaining on how to generate the forms to input data using Microsoft Access. The first step, before we generate the forms in database, we need to always remember that all the tables have to be set up and all this relationship has to be established, as well as the queries. Once all the information has been put up and all the tables have been set up, then it will be easier for us to do the form. And how we should create a form, the first step is we click on the create button. Once the create button is popped out, you can see there is a form table design, form design, and report design. But since we are going to create a form, so click on the form design and the design view will be popped out. Then as you can see, there will be many options to design the form. So we click on the format, then you click on the add existing fields. So once you add existing fields, the tables will be popped out. All the list of tables that you have been set up earlier, the list will be popped out accordingly. So since you're going to create a form for student, for example, so you click on the student table, and then the entities, the attributes, everything will be popped out there. So what are the information that you want to appear it on the form? You can just double click on the attributes one by one. So for example, as I have done here, I double clicked the student ID and then it pops out on the design view. The process repeats as the same as for all the other tables, all the forms that you want to create. So now you can see the form is displayed with the information of students appropriately and accordingly. Now my next topic of presentation is to generate the report, to create the report which the data has been input. One of it, the idea is to collecting data, analyzing and processing, submitting data that gives a right to accurate facts and figures. It also enables us to prioritize the most relevant information once the report is generated from the database. It also displays the totals, the counts, the attendance, percentage, or any other summary data which does not detail the records that were chosen. So it's more like a summary of data. When, for example, like now, I have input the data of the library database, the students who have borrowed the books. So from that report we can summarize what are the books that the students have borrowed and which author mostly the students preferred. So this is one of the best way to know the summary of information which the data has been collected from the database. Now I would like to explain about how to create the report using Microsoft Access. So the first step, as usual, just like how you create the forms, you always need to make sure that all your tables are set up, the relationships are set up, okay, it's well established, and query is done, forms are generated as well. Then we can move to the next step, which is doing the report. So as for the report, the same step, we need to click on the create button, and then will pop out the report design. So click on the report design and then the design view will appear. So that's where we need to do our report. And then what we have to do is the same step, go to the format and click on the add existing fields. So when we add the existing fields, the list of tables will be popped out where all the tables will be appeared again. So whatever tables that you have set up initially will be shown on the list. And then now to do the report is the same step as the doing form. Okay, so first you select the table that you want to generate the report. Select the table, for example, the student table. So student table is selected, click, and then there will be appearing all the attributes of the student table. Then you double click on each attribute to add it into the report design view. And then that's it. This is how the report design will be generated. Conclusion, the benefits of database management system are hard to be ignored, especially as the amount of data people and machines create every day increases. One of the more notable benefits is improving the security of data stored in database. Finally, end users will be empowered to make informed decisions based on the data available. Better, more consistent data means high quality, usable information which can help users make a decision with the exact data that they need. Ultimately, this results in improved productivity throughout the organization. This also helps us to keep business operation running as planned, keep track of customers, data inventory and employees. It also helps our organization to maintain the application and database performance, as well as to store and organize unique varied types of data, which also help us to automate database process and procedure in further process. That's all from me. Thank you.